Good morning. Welcome to the good morning, good afternoon. It's not morning. It's Friday, July 10th, and I'm getting a little bit of a late start. I have a feeling that I'm going to be going live on Fridays at noon my time, Central Standard Time. I was talking to Gogo Elmo about this yesterday and about how I want to go live more often, but I don't want to attach myself to a schedule, or at least not a schedule that goes beyond the weekend schedule. The other thing I really want to do is I have been watching back more and more of my videos, which I hadn't done in a long time because I just had fallen off on editing streams. The other thing that I'm noticing in my replays is that I am way too close to this microphone because I have this fear of not ever being close enough to the microphone. So I'm intentionally keeping it a little bit out of the way today, and I'm looking at my levels and it looks fine. So you all tell me, am I close enough to the microphone? Can you hear me? I think the answer is yes, because I'm getting those plosives into the mic that are very, very difficult to remove in editing. I mean, I don't even try to remove them in editing because I don't know what I'm doing beyond cut. That's it. I know how to cut. I know how to remove stuff and do basic editing. So anyways, let me know if you can hear me. I think you can though, because I'm looking at the level and it looks fine. And also the other thing that I run into a lot is if I have the mic too close, I'm doing this. I can't like see my keyboard because the mic's in the way. So if I leave it here, I can see my keyboard. So that's like another bonus. Anyways, how's it going? My name is Angela. After all of that, I'm a front-end developer and a software engineer in St. Paul, Minnesota. I do front-end development on this channel, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we are working on a project called Practice Layouts. Oh, and you know what? I don't have the chat ready. Oh, and Malik Robinson says, sounds good to me. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for that. I didn't get the chat ready yet. Running a little late here this morning. So let's fire up the chat, shall we? There we go. And then one more place. And oh, and I'm not even showing that. Where are you, big chat? There we go. Nice. I spent a little time recently working on, just OBS stuff and making sure that I'm showing the chat and things like that. And I'm still learning the thing that I built. So Malik Robinson is here. He's our mod in the chat. He is the person, listen, he's here to keep an eye on you and to keep an eye on me, and thank him because he's here for every stream, keeping us all on the straight and narrow. Okay. Malik Robinson, you're the best. You know that. Oh, and you know what? Hang on. No, my camera's okay. Is it? Hang on. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Not that it matters. I think it's fine. How do we look? How do we look here? Perfect. Perfect. We look good here. We look fine here. Good. And we look good. We look fine there. Okay, good. All right. Listen, it's okay to be a little more cash on the stream, right? Okay, here we are. Practice layouts. So we're gonna try to get we're not gonna try. We're gonna get this done this weekend. But listen, there's a saying in development that done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Done is the perfect. Perfect is the enemy of done. Is that the right saying? Perfect is the enemy of done. Yeah, it's perfect is the enemy of done. Oh, look at AI is like personalizing its response. It did this earlier today too when I asked it something in Google. You nailed it. This timeless aphorism, am I saying that right? This timeless aphorism, famously attributed to Voltaire, means that obsessing over flawlessness often prevents you from actually finishing anything. Striving for an unattainable ideal leads to analysis paralysis. This is my friend Ashley's. This is one of her favorite sayings. I love it. Leads to analysis paralysis, wasted time, and missed deadlines. Yeah. Um, Practice layouts after this weekend. We already have the deployment set up. We are already deploying to practicelayouts.com. It is not that serious. Whatever we get done this weekend, I will continue to work on this site on my own off stream, because starting the following weekend, we have a full stack app and a database to build. If you are new here, first of all, welcome. Let's do that. Let's thank the new people who are here. If you're new here, first of all, welcome. Happy to have you. Would you be so kind as to like this video, subscribe if you aren't already? It helps the algorithm, it helps the channel grow, and I would be oh so appreciative of that thing, of the thing that you would do to hit the like button or subscribe. I appreciate it. What was my next thought? Oh, if you're new here, the next project that we're going to do is a full stack app and a database project. So I'm a front end developer. I'm not like a full stack back end type of lady, but I have built those things before, so I do understand them. I so first of all, let me lay out some stats for you. I'm going to like, is it okay if we talk about this for a minute? I would like to talk about this for a minute. Here are some stats. Here's a little about me if you're new here. Boom, 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 right here. I've been on YouTube for 2 years. As of today, I'm estimating that we will have 3,080 subscribers, because I usually pick up, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 15 subscribers every time I do a live stream, and we were at 3,079, so I rounded up to 80. We have done 239 live streams. Today is 240. I have posted 71 like long videos. We call them longs, right? And I have posted 31 shorts. Now, a lot of those shorts are mined from they're like clipped. They're clipped from the live streams, but I have made actual like dedicated shorts also. And this all equals 333 videos on my channel over 2 years. And I did this because I was thinking about a comment that I got a few months ago. Something along the lines of, wow, you're really consistent for somebody who hardly gets any views, like the ultimate passive aggressive comment. That's not really the point anymore. Yeah, of course I would love to get dozens and dozens and dozens of views. Who wouldn't? Look at what I do have though. Look at all of this information that I have, all the things that I've said, that I've taught, that I've demonstrated, all the questions that I've answered, all the things that I've responded to, all of this content. So in the last couple of weeks, just on the live streams, because that's like by far the biggest group, the biggest category, just on the live streams, I have been transcribing all of those videos, because as I stream, I'm also recording. So I transcribe with timestamps the live stream. So number one, that gives me a ton of metadata for the video itself, because then I use codecs to read that transcript, suggest titles based on what we actually did or what I actually talked about during the live stream, and then I can accurately retitle the live stream for the replay. It will also write me a description. This is the only time that I really let AI write for me, because I want to do my own writing. I don't want anyone to think, oh, did she have AI write this? I want it to be obvious that I wrote it. This is the exception because I can't remember everything that I talked about for 2 hours, every detail, but Codex can go through that transcript and write a description for the YouTube video for everything that I talked about. It will also give me ideas for social media posts. I don't know. I have a job set up that gives me, I have Codex do a bunch of things with that transcript afterwards. Okay. So then I was like, what else can I do with these transcripts? Because I feel like there's so much information in here, so many things that we talk about, front end, freelancing, deployment, my own philosophy on frameworks and vanilla and doing client work and what it's like to be a developer. There's so many things that we have talked about over 239 live streams, nearly 500 hours of streaming. I thought, oh my God, build a database. Like it would be a full stack app. I could still do the front end myself with vanilla. And I trust me, I will be building that front end myself. But that would be the perfect vibe coding exercise to build a database, build an importer, because I have maybe 30. I mean, I have like 125, I think, of my videos transcribed, but I can only do anywhere from like 3 to 5 a day. So I try to just do a minimum 3, 5 if I have extra time, because I have to, there's just a whole process that goes that I have to, there's stuff I have to do to the transcript before it can be ready for a database. Okay, so there's that piece of it. So I'm not just feeding the transcripts into the database. It needs metadata, it needs front matter. They're all markdown files. But I should have that done, I think, by the end of August, maybe September. Okay, wonderful. Think about, though, let's say I wanted to write an ebook on deployment for front-end developers. I can go to the database and search by keyword deployment, and the database will return every date that I did deployment, and I can copy and paste that list of files into Codex and say, Codex, read the transcripts for all of these dates that I streamed deployment, and give and pull out my exact wording with timestamps so I can go back and look at the video if I need to, but pull out the exact wording, what we were doing, summarize what was going on, and help me organize all of these ideas. I don't know. I'm just so excited about this project. It's obviously going to be private. I am not going to deploy this anywhere. I have this pushed up. This will push up to a private repository on GitHub, but I won't be making this public for obvious reasons. Hopefully you understand that. But what I will be doing after we finish this is I will be building a second database, which is just for funsies. But I don't know if I should. I already know, I've already decided what it's going to be, but I think I'm going to wait and tell you what it is. Not that I think that anybody here would care or run out and like execute this idea, but I am just going to hold off and wait and tell you what it is. But just know that I have an idea for a second database because I want to stream the process of doing this, doing the transcription and building the database. But it needs to be private, but I'm also kind of sad that it needs to be private. So that's why I really want to do a second database. And the information that will be in the second database is already all in the public domain. So we're not stealing from anybody. We're just taking something that already exists in the public domain. We're going to build our own database, and it's going to be amazing. So, and that will be deployed. So that's going to be like the fun open source part of this. And also, I think it's good that we kind of do the experimental full stack database app thingy, like on something that is going to be private, because we're going to learn, right? That's like our learning. And then we can use what we learn and go off and build the second thing. And it's going to be amazing. So there's that. Okay, well, thank you for listening. Yeah, so stick around. It's gonna be fun. This is literally what we do here. We just practice. We practice for fun. We have a good time. We build stuff because this is, I mean, I guess I can only speak for myself. For in the beginning of my career, because I am a self-taught developer, I spent hours and hours and hours outside of work still building because I was still very much in the learning phase of my career, right? As I got more experience and I moved up in my career, I stopped doing that. For one, the jobs that I was working at as a developer, they got increasingly complex. I was given more and more responsibility, and I just didn't want to spend all my time coding anymore. I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm actually a little tired, and this is not how I want to spend all my free time. Like, not that I know everything, but I'm like, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. This is not how I want to spend all my free time. But after many, many years of only coding at work and really like never coding outside of work, not doing any personal projects, not even, I had a website, a personal website, and I let it sit and get stale for years. After many years of that, I was like, yeah, actually, I'm super out of practice because as I've grown in my career and I've moved into leadership roles and I was in more and more meetings, I wasn't even doing that much coding at work. Like at my last job, at the University of St. Thomas. I worked there for 7 years. The last 3 years that I was there, I was the manager of front end development. And I spent maybe 30% of my time actually writing code. And it was the same code base. We really weren't even like building new stuff. We were sort of in maintenance mode. We were building things, like we were building modules and adding features and building new components, but it wasn't like we do here where we really get to come up with a new fresh idea and build it out. Okay. I could just tell that my skills were getting really stale, and I wasn't excited about like really coding anymore, and that's why I started the YouTube channel. And it just, that story kind of writes itself at this point. I talk about it a lot, but that's what we're doing here, is we're here to like learn and practice and just enjoy the process of front end development and vanilla in particular, which I think is really important. So, okay, well, there's that. So here's what people are like, God damn it, lady, you promised us load more. Stop talking. Okay. We're going to do a load more button. And I would also like to figure out how to get this information into the sidebar. So I'm honestly thinking that this is obviously a great candidate for reduce. I was thinking about this last night, but I wasn't like in front of the computer while I was thinking about this. It was more like I was doing the dishes thinking about this. How do I have to do one reduce function? Like, how do I do reduce and get both months and years and then just years? I have no idea. And I haven't used reduce in like a month. So the little teeny tiny bit of comfort that I had with reduce, I'm sure has evaporated at this point. So we're basically going to be relearning reduce. Like I have retained about 10% of that information. Um, yeah, basically, I want to figure out how to count our data so we can have, because we have our dates here. I mean, we're going to have to convert this first, right? This is ISO format. It's a string. We can convert, I feel like we're going to have to do two things. We're going to have to format it twice, once for year and a second time for month, year. And then we just do reduce twice. Or I don't know. Well, we're going to have to obviously, I think we're going to have to format it first. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. We'll do load more first. And again, I need to refresh my memory on load more. So let's go to Oh, and we had one other thing that we had to do with the filter, now that I think about this. So we finished the filtering last weekend and it works really well. So let's search. Oh, I also wanted to, oh my God, Angela, collect yourself. All over the place today. I had a busy morning. Um, and I feel like I had to change gears very quickly. Um, okay, so let's tidy up our work on the filter, which basically works beautifully. The filter is looking at this, which we call category, but really it's just like a subheading. This is the main heading right here. And then obviously this is the description. I think that it would be better if I almost think it would be better if it looked at the date, but I don't think we're formatted for that. No, Angela, stop. We're going to do the subheading and the heading. And I think this is way too broad to include the filtering inside the description. So that's the first thing, we're going to remove that. So because it picks up all of these like the lesser words, the repetitive filler words, right? Like this. So any description, this, you know what I mean? So I think we should do that first. Bear with me, people. Where are we? Right here. So this is the item description right here. So we're gonna take that out and we're just going to search in the title, and in our little faux JSON API, it's called category. It's really more like a subheading. So now let's search for this. Yeah, no results found. We still have some styling to do too. That's no problem. So now let's search for CSS. So now it's going to look for anything. Yeah, perfect. Which is also still quite broad. Interesting. It picked up a partial. That's a partial word, right? You get the gist. Okay, that was the first thing that I wanted to do. The second thing that I wanted to do was we need to exclude the video from search results because the video is part of the function, the render function. So we've got this add video function, and then we have this is our render projects function. And then we basically just counted the index and said, hey, if the index equals 2, go ahead and append our video. But really, if it's the matched items, we don't want to render. So I feel like we would add a condition, like a Boolean value to the callback function. So we could say render projects matched items video equals false, right? So I think I have to ask Google this. Can't we just do, I briefly was thinking about this last weekend. Can't we just do video equals false? Can you do that? Video equals, or is it just video? Do you just do video? I think it's just video. And then we say video equals, not even a Boolean, we just say video equals, well, we would want it to be true, right? So we're saying it's true. No, but you have to do it here because it has to be part of the callback function. But I don't think you can just, oh, you can do that. video equals true. So I think we could say if index equals 2 and video, right? Else well, I think we would just do this. And then I think I can just do render projects matched items video equals false. I think that will work. I have to put it here too. Video equals false. Does this need to be? Nope. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. It makes sense to me. Only one way to find out. First, let's see if there's any errors. Video is not defined. Oh. What video? Oh, I don't think it. I think this is just let video. So we're really just checking to make sure that the video doesn't get appended in the search results. What? Huh, it worked. Right on. We didn't accidentally remove it, did we? Like the video still exists here, right? No, we did accidentally remove it. So maybe let video equal true. But I have to do it as part of the callback function. So this is not gonna, I know we have to define it here first. Let video equal true. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. So the video is true. Oh, which I think means we're setting it true here, and we're setting it false here, and we're setting it false here. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's make sure. Oh, God damn it. Oh, but we have to say, no, wait a second. But we still have to say, because it's still getting appended. So I feel like we still have to say and true. Oh, wait. And hang on. I'm going to figure this out. And oh, this is signs of value. Do I have to do this? I might have to ask. I think that is signs of value. Well, that's what I want though, right? Okay, I'm just gonna ask Google. I'm just gonna ask Google. Um, should I ask ChatGPT? Let's ask ChatGPT. This might require a bigger explanation. I know that there's just like a semantic thing going on here, and that's just where we are at. Okay. Um, I have this function to add a video, but I need the callback to be true or false. Sometimes the video will be red. Should I? Oh, you know what? Is this a good candidate for Codex? Because then Codex could actually look at what we have going on. Also, Codex is less opinionated. It really is. It gets to the point. Try to like it doesn't try to do too much. You know what I mean? Also, did we actually try this? Yeah. Let's do Codex. Why not? If I was um where are you, Codex? Why did you disappear? If I was like working on something, this is exactly what I would be doing. I would be like whipping this out. Codex is now, look at this. It's like every day. Codex is now the Chat GPT app. Keep coding with Codex. Pick up where you left off. Everything you love about Codex is still here. That's why it disappeared from my thing. Okay. Work beyond code. ChatGPT can now take on work across your apps and create polished deliverables. Wonderful. Um, okay. So let's add a project, use an existing folder, projects. This is like exactly how I use Codex. Let me make this a little bigger. Okay. So we're gonna write a we gotta write a prompt. So what's our prompt? So first of all, we have to tell it where to look. We want it to look in modules projects.js. So let's write a prompt. This is the future of web development, my friends. But I'm here for it. And let me say hello to somebody. No one is here. I use Claude for coding solutions and ChatGPT as a teacher for learning. Yeah. I mean, the only reason I'm not using Claude is that I'm already paying for ChatGPT. And I thought, why do I need to pay for both? So there's that. And ChatGPT is actually amazing at helping me write prompts for codecs. I haven't been in too many situations where I run out of tokens in Codex. A couple times I have, but it ChatGPT is really helping me write a concise prompt to make sure I'm doing things efficiently. I really, really like it. Roha Chan is here. I am here. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. How are you guys doing? I'm so happy that you're here to hang out. And you know what, like I was saying, this is like the future of web development. It's understanding how to prompt and use these tools, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm telling you, a couple of a couple of months ago, I can admit I will just admit that I did not fully understand the power of Codex or Claude Code or a basically agentic AI. I just didn't understand the power of it. I was dismissive of it because I've been using ChatGPT for a long time and it has been very clunky to use. Lots of copying and pasting, lots of back and forth, very frustrating. At one time, ChatGPT had a code editor in it. I don't know if that's still there. I stopped using it because it was so frustrating. Very, very clunky experience. So I sort of was dismissive of AI as a helping with coding. I really did not like using GitHub Copilot because I don't want VS Code to be like writing the code for me. I just didn't like it. But now that I'm learning to use agentic AI and having Codex connected to a set of files, I love it. I do feel like the tech companies are finally figuring out a way to work that is comfortable and not annoying. And I'm here for it. This is the job. The job is changing, and this is it. And I'm okay with it. I'm enjoying it. So, okay. Um, please look at what do we want it to look at? We want it to look at modules projects.js. Modules slash projects.js. There's a function on line 7 called, let's see here, add video. Time lapse, comma, video equals true. The video callback is a Boolean, so I can make sure it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I can make sure it doesn't add the video when there are matched items. I can't remember how to use a Boolean in a callback function. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Please help. Okay. It's going to read this file and it's just going to know what to do. Okay. Oh, and let's make sure, let's give it some constraints. Please do not refactor any of my other code. Please do not worry about any of my other code. Your task is to help me with this callback function for the video. Yeah. That's the other thing I'm learning is it needs constraints. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, now what's this? Sol light. What do we have? Whoa, what is all this? Faster, smarter, faster, smarter, faster, smarter. Consumes usage limits faster. Terra light, Sol light, Sol medium. I don't know. We'll stick with, it was 5.5 and now today it's 5.6. All right, well, let's see how it goes. Where are we at with usage? Hang on. Let me hide my head. We'll look. Usage. Show pet. Who's pet? Usage. 5-hour usage limit. Why? Oh, I have been using this morning. Resets at 4:18, so it resets in 3 hours. I feel like I use it a lot. Usage limit resets. Do these expire? Can somebody tell me? Do these expire? Or will they just sit here? I mean, I'll use them if I need them, but so far I haven't needed them. I would love to know, do they expire? Yeah. Okay. So we're good on usage. This is like the $20 a month GPT plan, and I'm doing just fine. The one time I ran out of credits, it was the end of the day. It was actually pretty late at night, and I was working ahead, and I was like, no prob, I can come back and finish this in the morning. Didn't even matter. Okay, here we go. HBK. Hey, good evening, Angela. Hello, welcome. Happy to have you. And Rohat-chan says he is playing my stream in the background while he works. Okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, it's just true and false. Okay. Okay, let's see what it says here. Updated. The Boolean belongs on render projects. Since that function decides whether to add the video. Okay, so this is at least the right way to do it. Normal rendering uses the default true. So render projects slice data. Matched search results explicitly disable it. Render projects match items false. Then the existing condition checks it. If index equals 2 and video, add the video. Technically, video is a Boolean parameter rather than a callback. A callback would be a function passed into another function. I changed only the video related argument handling. Okay, that makes sense. So it doesn't go on here. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. Okay. Video equals true. So if it's true, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, oh yeah, because why would you put this here if it's on the add video function? I didn't even realize I was doing that. Got it. Got it. Match items false. Render projects match items false. Okay. And I know that there's another little refactor that we can do from last week. So we'll do that. Okay, so we see our video here. Let's make sure it works. Yep, it works. Here's a CSS. Beautiful. We definitely need to add a little padding there. Beautiful. Let's check and make sure that everything's working on our inner. Wait, was there an error? Hang on. Oh, favicon. I'm not worried about that. We'll add a favicon. I will add a favicon at some point. Okay. That all looks great. Beautiful. We obviously have some more styling to do. I'm thinking that, well, we're going to work on styling this weekend. We're going to wrap up some of the styling stuff this weekend. Probably Sunday. Oh, I love it. This makes me so happy. No video. Beautiful. And then we have our contact page. I love it. I mean, thinking about filtering in terms of search, it's so brilliant. It's so smart. Am I the last person to figure this out? God, I love it. I love it. Okay, excellent. Good. Well done, Codex. Okay, where's the other thing I wanted to do? The other thing I was thinking is that, you know, we were working on our logic last weekend, and I do remember saying you can't refactor something that doesn't exist. We needed to at least make sure that we got our logic down and everything was working, but clearly this can be, there's two sets of conditions here. There's a page where there is no hero, and the no hero pages are the about page and the contact page. And then there's the home page. This is the page that has the hero. So we successfully combined the logic for the inner pages. Now I think we can do that here as well. So I'm actually going to flip this. So if hero and no search, else if hero and search. So now it kind of matches what's happening down here. And then we can combine these. So this is going to be, well, let's make sure that these really match then, because even this is flipped now. And then of course we'll test. So now these kind of match, right? Then we can add these. Okay. And let's just, whoops. If there's a hero and a search value, because that's really what it is. If there's a hero and a search value. If there's no hero. There's no hero. And there's a search value. Just a little note. There we go. That's the extent of the refactoring that I wanted to do for that. Let's make sure we didn't break anything. Check the console. All right. Nice. Okay. All right, we're good on the home page. Beautiful. All right. We'll check our contact page. This makes me so happy. We're going to be doing this. I build the UI for search in almost every single project. Like literally I just build the input. We're going to do this moving forward. This is that we're going to do this. You don't have to have a dedicated template where you load a new page with search results, especially if you're using an API or JSON data. You don't even need people, you don't even need an API. Just put your content in a JSON file. That's your API. Nothing wrong with that. And then look at the possibilities, how powerful this is. I love it. We have to do this more often. So, excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's thank Codex. Thanks. Am I wasting tokens thanking Codex? Okay, good. See, I will say this, Codex, I wouldn't go so far as to say that Sam Altman isn't trying to waste my usage, because there have been a couple of instances where I was like, really? You did that? You knew that wasn't the right thing to do and you did it anyways. You wasted all that usage. But if I had typed "thanks, it works" into ChatGPT, I would have gotten like a monologue recapping everything that I've done for the last 10 days. So this is at least refreshing right here. Did they fix their UI? No. Well, this is the other thing that Codex, like, these little buttons don't work if you're zoomed in. So, but I know the keyboard shortcut. So there we go. Okay. And Roha Chance says, I've never used Codex. I've been using Claude Code for all of my agentic workflows, but I may give Codex a try since I already pay for the pro plan anyways. Honestly, the only reason I haven't used Claude Code is because I've been paying the $20 for ChatGPT Pro. And they had, by the time I finally came to my senses and realized I needed to start understanding agentic I was like, well, why do I need to pay for Cloud Code if I'm already paying for GPT, right? So if I find myself in a position where I'm burning through tokens, or honestly, quite frankly, if I find myself in a position where Codex just isn't getting the work done the way I need it to, I will happily switch to Claude Code. But right now, I'm using Codex. The thing that I use it for the most is as a content creator. it's definitely helped me with a lot of coding in my freelancing and contract work. I just finished a job where I was um, upgrading legacy Vue components from Vue 2 Laravel app to a Vue 3 Astro app. Codex saved me days, maybe weeks of work. It was unbelievable. And I used ChatGPT to help me write those prompts, which was the other. It was such an incredible experience. I got that work done so quick. My clients were so happy. I mean, the person who hired me couldn't believe that I delivered. There was like a list of things that we kind of had set aside, and it was I never take on client work or move forward with clients without a set of requirements or without the work being scoped. But when but I also, this is a long-term client of mine, somebody that I've been working with for many, many years. We tend to work with like this is the stuff that we absolutely need to get done, and then this is kind of like the nice to have list. And I got everything on that list done. I got all the stuff that absolutely needed to be done, and I got all the nice to have stuff done. They were so happy, and I got it done so quickly, so efficiently, so easily because I finally took the time to sit down and understand Codex. It was incredible. I was happy, they were happy. It saved me days and days of hand coding things that I would have done. It would have been fine. I would have been, but to just have it be such a great smooth process and have ChatGPT helping me with those prompts. And I'm just, I know I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Because I have as much experience as I have, and because I've worked with that client for such a long time, and I know what the expectations are, and I know the first thing they're going to look at, even if something was technically, functionally correct, I can still look at it and be like, yeah, actually, no, that they're not going to like that. They're going to want this instead. That's only somebody with experience and somebody who understands the requirements can do. And that's what real software engineering is. Yes, it's writing code, it's testing code, it's making sure the code base isn't filled with AI slop. It is also understanding the client, the user, the personas, the requirements. It's all of those things. That's what software engineering is. So for all you people who come into my comments and say, no, you're a web developer, you're not a real software engineer. If you were a real software engineer, you would understand AI much better than you do. Fuck off, okay? This is real software engineering, and yes, I'm late to the game. I fully admit that I am late to the game, but it is so incredibly powerful, and I fully believe that I'm having the success I'm having because of my experience. So there's that. And Rojas says, thanks for the info. I may give Codex a shot in my next small project. Yeah. And I might give Claude Code a shot. Claude is 20 bucks a month like GPT is, right? So, and Rojas says 100% AI is such a time saver. I just shipped a beta version of an app I've been working on for 4 months this morning. Without AI, it most definitely would have taken me 2 years at least, right? AI lets me focus on architecture. I love it. Thank you. Yes. I'm scoping out this database project that I want to start on next weekend. And instead of spending all my time learning SQLite or how to write a vanilla JS, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Import file, it's not import. I can't remember the name I'm looking for, but you know, the thing that makes that connects the thing, right? Instead of worrying about those things, and I care about those things and I want to understand those things, instead, I'm really sitting and scoping out the requirements of how I want this database to function. I'm thinking about the metadata that I need to capture, the work I need to do on the front end, the importer file, that's it, the importer file. I'm thinking about the requirements, the user experience, what I really need that database to return in my filtered results in order for that to be a useful thing for me. So it's architecture. And I really believe that with well-defined requirements, I can prompt Codex to build out this back end the way I need it built out. Like I said, yes, of course, I care about the nuts and bolts, but the architecture is also very important. It needs to function a certain way or it's not useful to me. And in order to get it to function a certain way, I have to really sit and put a ton of thought into the metadata, the work that goes into it on the front end. What are we capturing on the front end? What do I really put in there that the output actually helps me in the work that I'm doing? So it's really, really cool. And, better late than never. So much has changed in the last year. This time last year, we were not talking about agentic AI. Or were we? You tell me. This time last year, were people talking about agentic AI? I don't think so. I heard when did I hear that word for the first time? I don't think I heard it until literally 2026. But I don't know. You guys tell me. Have I just, did this just completely miss me? This is the other thing about kind of being in my own little YouTube world. Um, I just haven't noticed a lot of things going on. So I'm really grateful for the videos that I made in May where I had people in my comments being like, actually, you're kind of missing out on something here. You don't realize what it is that's really happening here. And I'm glad that I have been woken up to this. So it's incredible. And I'm like I said, I'm here for it. It's exciting. These are new tools and it makes the work easier and it lets me focus on things that I'm really, really good at. I mean, I am a decent coder. I think I'm great at HTML and CSS. I am mid at JavaScript, but I'm getting better. I am very good at requirements gathering. I am very good at talking to PMs and leadership teams and business owners and clients. I am very good at organizing my time. I am very good at starting projects and finishing projects. And I am a good self-learner. I know these things about myself. Um, and Codex lets me really focus on those things. And I am so grateful. No one, you deleted your message. I don't know why you deleted your message. I want to see what it says. Oh, I don't know what it says. Tell me what you said. I want to hear from you. I don't see you in the chat very often, no one, and I'm happy to have you here. So, if you want to retype in your message, I'm happy to read it. Roja says, no, I agree. AI is about moving fast, and 2026 is definitely the year companies started seeing AI as an employee and not just a tool. I heard that saying on a video the other day. Ooh, I have thoughts about that. No one says, no, I have heard about agentic AI. Example, the price of agentic AI is going up. Yes, I have heard that too. I want to say that I kind of started to hear about it when we all heard that Uber burned through their entire AI budget in the first 4 months of 2026. Um, in the budget that they had set aside for all of 2026, they burned through it by spring. So I feel like that's when I started to hear about it. Roha Chan says, as scary as that sounds, I feel like this will just open up more job opportunities. I agree. I totally agree. And if you're a new developer and you're like, what's the point? What is there any point in learning how to do this? It's absolutely yes. Because I think that we can all agree that you can't push code to production if you don't know what the code is. I mean, I do think that there are people speculating about like the next generation of software engineers, which are people who started out as vibe coders. And I don't think that that's wrong at all, but they are also going to have to evolve into people who also understand the code. That's kind of a non-negotiable with software engineering. I'm not saying that you have to be like an expert or you even have to understand every line. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every line of code I have ever pushed to production in 13 years, I 100% understood. That would be a lie, and it's not true. I mostly understood it. I got the gist of it, but I understood the majority of it, and I think it's a non-negotiable. You have to understand code in order to be a software engineer. So if you start that journey as a vibe coder, fantastic. However you discover it, wonderful. But you do have to know some code. I also think though, but also let's talk about how this is kind of flipped, because this just occurred to me. I feel like the majority of coders discovered coding, or we'll call it software engineer, because they started coding first. Now, are the majority of software engineers going to discover engineering because of the engineering part and the first, like, and when we talk about engineering, we talk about the systems part, the requirements gathering. I'm a web developer and a front end developer, so I talk a lot about requirements gathering, things like that, because that's such an important part of web development, and just understand. And it's a important part of all of it, but you know what I mean. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting and kind of exciting. And I do think it sounds scary. And I know that companies are trying to replace humans. And I think that they're realizing that that isn't always going to be possible. But I think we're going to find a lot of balance. This tool is here to stay, it's not going anywhere. You can get on board. You can be a part of this really exciting group of people in this exciting time that sort of figures out how it's going to be used. Or you can let someone else decide for you. I don't know. But it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. So, and I think it is going to create a lot more opportunities for people. No one says right now they are burning VCs and investor money just like Uber. Yeah, it's pretty interesting what's happening. So, okay. Well, I love these discussions. I love it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and chit-chatting about this stuff, because I do think it's really interesting. So, okay. Um, so the other refactor that probably needs to happen, but I mean, I don't want to no, I'm not, I'm so tempted to go crack open Codex and have it finish this, but I don't think we should. Um, we need to add the load more. And I think that we just need to add it right here in projects.js. I'm starting to feel like this file is getting kind of long, and this could be chunked out. We could break this up a little bit, but alas, I'm not going to. So I need to refresh my memory on how to do the load more, which I know is not particularly difficult. And we did this during the 30 days of vanilla JavaScript. This was the project in April, where I went live every day for 30 days to work on my JavaScript skills, and it was amazing. We had so much fun. But I have a load more here. So let's find that. Pagination and load more. And I think we just have the pagination wired up. That is just fine, because I have both here. So we need a button right here. So here is our load more button. Here's our load more items are the things that are already being rendered. So we just need our button. Where would we like to put that? So here's our portfolio. I'm going to put it right here. And then we're going to hide it. When we've shown the entire list, we're going to hide it. So we'll just add a hidden attribute right there. So here's our button. Here's our class. Oh, this is a good comment. No one says, please make sure that the agent doesn't read your .env and token. That's a good reminder. I don't have a .env in any of these files. So how would you do that? If you had a .env, how would you tell, and you load your project into the agent, how do you keep it from reading that file? I'm just curious. I'm literally asking because I don't know. Or maybe I should just Google it. Should we Google it together? Let's do it. I think this is important enough. How to make sure an AI agent doesn't read my .env file. To prevent an AI agent or coding assistant from reading your .env file, do not rely on gitignore, which only hides files from Git, not AI tools. Instead, use an ignore list specific to your AI tool or remove the secrets from your local disk entirely. Configure AI-specific ignore tools. If you must keep your secrets in a local file, hide it using ignore files specifically recognized by your AI tool. Cursor ignore, Claude ignore, or Claude ignore for Claude. Find and create a named cursor or Claude ignore in your project root. Okay. Use the agent's secrets pattern. Separate your template from your actual credentials. Create a .env.example file containing only the variable names. Leave the values blank. Add your actual sensitive .env file to your ignore configurations like gitignore and cursor ignore. Okay. I don't have any files like this right now, but this is good to know. Okay. 3 months ago, Reddit, vibe coding. My AI agent read my .env file and I only, oh, can we read? We got to read this. Come on. We got to read this. It was just a matter of time before we started reading Reddit posts together. Okay. And in the vibe coding subreddit, no less. Okay. I was testing an agent last week, gave it access to a few tools, read files, make HTTP calls, query a database. Standard setup, nothing unusual. Then I checked the logs. The agent had read my .env file during a task I gave it. Not because I told it to, because it decided the information might be useful context. My Stripe key, my database password, my Open AI API key. It didn't send them anywhere this time. But here's the thing, I had no policies stopping it from doing that. No boundary between what the agent can decide to do and what it's actually allowed to do. Yeah, I mean, this is what a lot of us figured out really early, even just using ChatGPT like 2 years ago. Like, oh, mental note, make sure you specify this thing. I started asking around, and apparently this is not rare. People are running agents with full tool access and zero enforcement layer between the model's decisions and production systems. Honestly, this is a very well-written post, even though it's a big mistake for a vibe coding subreddit. The model decides, the tool executes, nobody checks. I've been thinking about this ever since. Is anyone else actually solving this beyond prompt instructions? Because telling an LLM don't read sensitive files feels about as reliable as telling a junior dev don't push to main. Okay. I run into this with agents grabbing way more than they should. Just trusting the LLM to behave doesn't cut it. Have you looked into sandboxing or capability-based access instead? Okay, right here. I mean, your issue is having the ENV available even. You should only have test keys, etc. excuse me, in your local ENV all production, especially if it's a stripe key. If it's a stripe key, you should be using test stripe keys, right? I mean, Stripe very specifically has test like dev, staging, and production keys. So hopefully you're using the test keys. Although if you're like if your thing is in production, maybe not, right? There is no way to reliably stop an agent from reading any file that it has access to. The point of the .env file is not to stop agents reading them, it's to stop them passing the keys and requests. That's the danger. If you don't want your agent to read your keys, you'll need to store your keys off the system. This is a really important distinction, and you're right that off-system storage is the correct answer for prod. The part I'd push back on slightly, okay, was this written? Did somebody say, hey, ChatGPT, help me write this response? The part I'd push back on slightly, that is classic ChatGPT language. Even if the keys are stored off system, the problem I ran into still exists. M-dash. The agent had broader file read access than it needed for any specific task. Off-system secrets and enforced path allow lists plus tool call policies gives you defense in depth rather than a single point of control. This is a ChatGPT response. So anyways, no one says there are rules for that. You have to put in files like Claude and setting.json. So, well, this is a really good point. I'm glad you brought this up, and I will keep this in mind because this is probably going to come up. I mean, since I just do my little fluffy vanilla front end projects, I don't run into this a lot, but we have a full stack app coming up next, right? So this is good. This is good. Thank you for this. I'm going to make note of this in my requirements and figure this out. So, love that. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, so we have our button. Here's our request. We have to define our items per page globally. So let's get back to our projects.json. Right, or excuse me, projects.js. So here's our add video. Here's our render projects. So let's make sure that we have our button. Call this load more is equal to documents, query selector. What was it? Load more button. Okay, and then here are our global items, and I'm actually going to do 7 items per page because the home page is always going to have 3 projects and 1 video. Excuse me, 3 projects, a video, 3 projects, and then we can always just add 7 more projects at a time after that. I'm fine with that. But that's how I want the home page to look specifically. That's why I'm doing that, is because of that video. Okay. Then we have this count and slice data. So let's do let's do this. Let's put these side by side. We are going to use this when I'm going to type it out. Okay. Okay. There we go. Function, count, and slice data. We got a lot going on here with this data. So we already actually have slice data, don't we? Right here. So we're actually going to be counting and slicing this data right here. Well, but this is the, wait a second. Yeah, no, this is it. This is everything after the third item. So we're going to count and slice the sliced data. Okay. And then we have our page. Okay. So we're going to let the start equal the page times items per page. Let the end equal the start plus the items per page. Okay. And we only, I mean, I'm thinking about the filtered, like the matched items, the filtered data, and I'm thinking that we're only going to paginate the homepage projects. I'm not going to worry about paginating the filtered matched items, if that makes sense. This is what my brain is thinking right now. So let visible equal so we're going to slice it again, which I think is fine. I don't know what I'm doing. Sliced, slice, start, end. And then we have to return visible. I mean, there's no reason why you can't slice data that's already been sliced, right? Because slice returns a new array. You can slice it again, right? Doesn't matter what you call it. Okay. So here's our render projects function right here. And here's our render UI. Okay, so this has the load more inside the function. We can do that. Okay, there's our load more. Load more items is this, the div. So we don't need to, so that's projects. So here's the load more button, load more items. Here's our for each. which is now going to be wrapped in this function. No. Visible is this, the new slice data. Got it. Const visible is equal to count and slice data, and it's the sliced data and page. And now visible is what we for each through. Oh, so it's literally getting 7 things plus the video. So we do need to make it 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, look at that. So this is working. Good. No errors. Let's put this down at the bottom. So if we do anything wrong, we are alerted. Okay, well, that's good to know. So we are going to do 6 per page. I'm good with that. So our count and slice data function is working. This is our visible. Got it. So here's render, 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 append, and then here's our init. So here's for the load. I think that we don't need this container. And wasn't this already up here? Load underscore more. No, this is something different. What is that? What's load underscore more? Oh, it's this entire container. Okay, so we don't need this. This actually, so here's our render. Here's our timer. We're not going to mess with that. There isn't really a separate init function. So I think we can just put this, where do we want to put this? This all has to do with, see, I feel like maybe this also needs to be, just to keep it tidy. Maybe it doesn't matter. This all has to do with the search and the filter. Here, yep, here's the input. I'm just trying to decide on the best place to put this. If it I don't think it needs to go anyplace else. I think we can just stick it right here. So here's our button right here. And then I'm just going to call it load. And then load. Disabled. False. So we want to be able to see that. So disabled on a button is both an attribute. It is also a CSS selector. It is a pseudo class. So it has the benefit of being both things. But we're going to go with disabled. And then we're just going to do an event listener for the load more button. Okay, got it. Load, add event listener, click. It's a little bigger. So if the page is less than, oh, and we need to get the total pages right here. So the total pages is the data length, which in this case is the sliced data length, divided by the items per page, math ceiling, right? Total pages equals math ceil. And it's the sliced data length. So the total amount of data minus the hero, the three things for the hero, that's what the sliced data is, divided by the items per page. Now, it's the page, if the page is less than the total pages minus 1 to make up for the index always starting at 0, right? Page plus plus. We're going to move to the next page. And we are going to, what is it? Render projects, slice data. Right? Yeah, the next 6 things. If page equals the total pages minus 1, whoops, minus 1, load, we're going to disable the button. Load disabled equals true because we've reached the end of the data. So here's our button. And here are the two conditions inside the event listener for the button. All right, let's see how it goes. Let's see. Where's our button? Oh, hang on. I think we kind of, our button is probably where? It's right here. Wait, that doesn't look right. So it's not appending. Hang on, it's not appending. We have to fix the UI. Well, let's see if we can. I think this actually needs to go after the wrap. We'll do that first. So I think this needs to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's just replacing, it's not appending. What did I miss? Hang on. So here's our render UI. Here's our visible items. So the visible comes from the count and slice. We know that's working. Oh, right here. Hang on. I feel like this matters. This will be a great candidate for codecs. If it's not working, we're gonna just troubleshoot with codecs. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think we need to. I think we also need to. This needs to be false, right? Because we don't want to. Well, we're not appending. Why aren't we? Why isn't the appending working? Should we be using the original data source? No, I don't think so. We have to use the data minus the 3 things that are in the hero, right? We're on page 0. We have 6 items per page. Render the UI. We're getting the next page. I know the counting is working correctly. And it's the visible. Did I type this out correctly? Let's start equal page times items per page. Let end equal start plus the items per page. Let the visible equal the slice data. So this is everything minus the 3 things that are already in the hero. So we're reslicing the slice data, which we know is working correctly because it's rendering the first time correctly. Oh, render projects, sliced data. Visible is, hang on one moment, please. And then this is just our render projects function, again with slice data. And then the visible count and slice the data with the data minus the hero items and the page number. And then we for each just through those things, which we know is 6 items. One, two, three, four, five, six. Just curious if it at least replaces it without the video. It does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just not appending it. It's replacing it. What am I missing? Why is it replacing it and not appending it? Hang on, don't tell me. Don't tell me. What did I miss? It's our wrap. Here's our portfolio. I don't understand. Why aren't you appending? What did I miss a step? Oh, I might, do I have to change? No, this is right. Load more items is just the container. I didn't accidentally do pagination, did I? I don't think so. Don't tell me. Oh, I think it's this. We're clearing the items first. That's why. It's because of this. As soon as we render projects, we clear this. Yeah, so where do we just need to put that someplace else. I think it just needs to come. Well, it does come before the for each. Does it just need to come after visible? Hang on, we just have to find the correct place to put that. And it'll be a-okay. Hang on. Okay. So so this is coming pagination items. Yeah. So this is We don't even want that anymore. How much you want to bet we don't even want that anymore? But we needed it though. Why did we need that? We needed that because of this. But if we have pagination, how much do you want to bet we might not need this anymore? That's why it's not appending. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and our load more button is disabled. Okay, beautiful. Now, how does this affect the filtering? Because that was why we had to do that. So probably this has to just move someplace else. It can't be in the render I think it just can't be inside this render projects. Has to be someplace else. So it probably has to be since it's related to the filtering specifically, and we are using it here. Well, let's test. We just have to figure out where else to put it. But now that we've got load more, we know that that's not going to work in that spot. So now, but we're not using load more in or on the filtered items. So let's see what happens next. I don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, something that we know has a lot of results. Let's do script. JavaScript. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And it's returning a video, which we don't want because it's not clearing. It needs to clear this first before it returns any filtered results. Okay, so we just have to put this someplace else. Where should we put it? This is fun. I'm having fun. This is me having fun. Okay, so it probably needs to come here. This is where we do it here, right? So we need to do it here. Yeah. So if there's no hero and there's search results, this was root hidden false. And look down here, root hidden true, root inner HTML clear. I think we have to do the same thing here. I think we just have to do this right here. Okay, so this is saying if there's no hero and there's no search, we want to hide the root and we want to clear the inner HTML. That's just if there's no results, we're clearing those things. I want to make sure that I'm clearing the root immediately before I'm rendering the matched results. I kind of feel like I want to do it here. If there's, and here, I think I have to do it both times before we render. I feel like I have to do it every time before I render. That because it was in the render function. So we just need to make sure that it's doing it anytime this is rendering related to the filtering, right? Boom. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. We did it. Okay, we did it on the home page. We got to test the about page and the contact page, but we did figure this out. So let's do a quick one. We're just making sure. Okay. Okay, so clearly that's not working. Hang on. So probably got a little aggressive here. Oh, there's nothing to clear. That's why I don't think we need this. There's nothing to clear. Was this already here? I think, well, we just gotta try it. Okay. So this is not. So if there's no hero and there's a search, the root hidden is false, and we want to render our matched items. There's no hero, and there is search. Oh, we've got an error. Disabled. Okay, hang on. Oh, load. Oh, there's no load. I can handle this. Okay, hang on. So probably maybe what we had here was okay. So really we just want to say if load. Can we just do that? Okay. Got it. Hang on, I'll just put you all in the same little if. Well, how about this? If there is no load. Well, I don't want to return though, so we do have to do an if statement. So got it. Beautiful. Okay. So this logic works perfectly. So let's do something that's really long to make sure that we're not getting that. Yeah. Well, is that really long? We'll do something obnoxious. Or our images aren't loading very quickly. That's a me problem. I wonder why. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I think everything's working really well. Let's check the contact page. Two, three, four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that really? Oh, it's still only showing 6. Okay. So we do need to make sure that, yeah, because the render, okay, got it. Because the render function only works with visible, and visible is sliced for pages. Okay, I'm glad I tested that and actually counted. So, I mean, we could just put the load more button on those pages. I was going to just return all of the results, but you know what would be really easy is just adding those buttons to the inner pages. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Kind of ready to wrap this up. So, and I do understand what's happening. So, I think it's just fine. So, here's the wrap. We're just going to add it. So, here's the about page, and here is the contact page. And here's the wrap. Guess what? We have a load more button. Oh, and it's going to be visible. So we can either make it hidden or we can disable it. I think we're going to have to hide it. It will need to be hidden. If there are, yeah, so instead of disabled, it needs to be hidden. So, um, but how's that going to work for the matched items? Because this is obviously going to make it visible on all of the pages. Okay, that's fine. We can do this. Let's at least test and make sure this part works before we go any further. Yep, because there's a load more. We obviously don't want that on the inner pages, but we do want the load more on the home page. So let's just make sure that this works. Okay, hidden. Perfect. Beautiful. Let's make sure. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I really don't want to load more items on the inner pages. I just want to load everything. So we're going to figure out how to do that. So I'm taking out this button on the inner pages and we're going to figure it out. So let's think about this for a second. So we know that the render projects function is rendering the paginated number of items, which is 6. And we know that because the count and slice is doing that calculation, which are the visible items, and that's what we're for each throwing. So I kind of feel like we don't need to change the render projects. I feel like we could just do something like this for the matched items, right? I feel like we could just say get all the pages. Should we ask Codex? I feel let's just ask I'm gonna ask Codex how to do it because we're just over the 2-hour mark. This is the last thing that we need to figure out. Let me go back and look here. The load. So I'm gonna change this. We can change this back to disabled. So what do we need to ask for? Let's make sure that we are asking the correct thing. In the projects.js file, I have added a load more button. I do not want the filtered / matched items to be paginated or load more. I want all filtered results to display, but the render projects function is slicing the data for load more. Please help me understand the best way to make sure filtered data is all displayed. Please do not change any code. Explain it to me first, and then I will approve the plan. All right. Let's get Codex back up. see what he says. Okay, let's go here. The cleanest approach is to give render projects another Boolean parameter controlling pagination, just as you already do for the video. Currently, render projects always does this. Visible, count, and slice the data. That means every data set, including match items, gets sliced. Instead, the function could conceptually accept render projects, video equals true, paginate equals true. Then choose the items to render. Visible equals paginate. If count and slice data, projects page, else just the projects. Are you impressed that I understood that? I'm impressed that I understood it. For the regular project list, both defaults apply. Render projects sliced data. For filtered results, disable both the video and pagination. This would render every matched item because visible would reference the complete match items array rather than a slice. The load more button should also be hidden or disabled while a search is active. Good to know. Then restored when the search is cleared. Otherwise, the button remains visible and can append a page from the unfiltered sliced data, even though filtered results are currently displayed. One other important detail, page may already be greater than 0 if the visitor clicked load more before searching. The paginate equals false approach avoids that affecting search results. When the search is cleared, you'll need to decide whether the normal list should return to page 0 and show the first 6 items, or restore all pages that the visitor had previously loaded. I'm going to say return to page 0. Look at that. My recommendation is to reset page equals 0 when transitioning between the normal list and search results. That produces the simplest, most predictable behavior. So the proposed plan is add a paginate equals true parameter to render projects, slice only when paginate is true, call it with render projects, match items, false, false for searches, hide or disable load more during a search, reset page appropriately when returning to the normal list. No code was changed. Beautiful. I approve. I approve. Please make these changes. So ChatGPT taught me this. ChatGPT taught me that always ask Codex to give you a plan and to approve the plan first. And I think that that's a really smart way to use this. Theoretically, it could eat up some usage. I think that that's a good trade-off because it's only happened like twice, but I feel like if I was better about asking it to give me a plan, I could have saved myself usage rather than letting it run through something that ultimately did not work because I didn't ask it to explain it to me first. So there's that. So while this is running, I think this is a great time to ask people to kindly like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. It helps the channel grow. It helps get this type of content pushed out to more people who might be interested in front-end development. Subscribe if you aren't already. I'm here for sure every Saturday and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Lately, I've been dropping in and doing a stream on Fridays as well. I often do sprints during the week, or I just drop in if I feel like I have something that I would like to work on. And yeah, so there's that. Always happy to have folks in the chat to chat with. And yeah, we're just happy to have you. So, okay. I probably should have committed before I had to do this so we could really see it, but changes made. Added a paginate Boolean to render projects. Filtered results now render the complete match items array. The load more button is hidden during a search. Clearing the search restores the button and resets pagination to page 0. The video remains excluded from filtered results. Module syntax and diff checks passed. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay, I guess we could keep this collapsed. So here's our paginate equals true. Visible is if paginate is true, count and slice data, sliced data page, else it's just sliced data. Beautiful. This if statement is doing a lot of work in a very simple way. It's literally, yeah, I mean, yeah, this if statement is doing the bulk of the work for what visible actually is, right? Render projects, slice data, false, false for the video. Render projects, slice data. And then here it is for the results. So false for no video, false meaning we want visible to be all of the original slice data. So it's everything, matched items, everything, not just the visible paginated items. Resets page back to 0. And then hides the load more button. And this is all if there's search input and a hero. So this right here, if there's a hero and there's no search results, the hero hidden is false, meaning we still show the hero, but we clear that inner HTML, we reset the page count back to 0, we render the projects with the original slice data. If there's a load more button, the load more button hidden is false, meaning we're showing it. Load disabled equals total pages less than or equal to 1. Yes, okay. And then here's our class for the label. And it's kind of the same thing here. Okay, should we test this? Oops. Where are we? Okay, let's go back to the home page first. So here's our 3 hero items. Here's our 3 project items plus the video. All right. Perfect. Load more, disabled. I suppose I should have, well, load some more and then do filtering. That's really, we want to test it that way, right? SCSS. Okay, beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We'll do CSS, which we know has a ton of results. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and no button, right? And this resets us back to 0. Okay, home page working, about page. So about and contact should work the same way. We'll do something that we know is small, 2 items, no button. Well, there wouldn't be a button because the button is not programmatically added. It's part of the markup, so there wouldn't be a button anyways. We would just only see 6 results, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think it's working. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Contact. Two items. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I don't think, and also we lose focus. That's still working. And I don't see any errors in the console. I think we did it. Nice. This was a really fun day to get all this working. So tomorrow, Saturday, let's look at our to-do list. What are we going to work on tomorrow? And then we'll go ahead and push this. Okay. So filter logic, done. Done. Load more logic, done. Okay. So we still need screenshots. I started working on that offline. We need about content, sidebar content. I am still thinking about doing a form and form validation for the contact page. We need the project count for the sidebar. We talked a little bit about that earlier today using reduce. Open graph meta tags for the head, meta descriptions, and page content. So I'm thinking then tomorrow, let's work on the sidebar. There's two things we need to do for the sidebar. So I want the project count for the sidebar, about me content with image for the sidebar, and two shorts videos / click to load. So that's what we're going to work on tomorrow is the sidebar. And then, so I'm thinking then, so this could be Saturday. And then this could be Sunday. And then, so Sunday we would be doing the form and form validation, which we've done several times. So that should not take a full day. And then we can run through and do some CSS. And then we'll do another deployment. So let's go ahead and commit just what we have here today. And we're on that integrations branch. Load more logic. And we will do a pull request tomorrow, and we'll look at our dev site and we will look at our production site, and we'll make sure everything's working. I'm not worrying about it today. This was fun. I enjoyed this. Some really, really fun problem solving, I think, today. Some stuff I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, like, I wonder if this is going to be a thing. One moment, please. Okay. I think that's it. We're at about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah, this was super fun. Thank you to everybody who came to hang out in the chat. No one was here. Go Elmo, Malik Robinson was here. Roha Chan, loved the conversation. HBK was here. I'm checking to see if there's anyone I missed. I don't think I missed anyone. Lots of really good conversation about AI, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Plus we had some good problem solving. So productive day. Everybody, have an amazing rest of your day wherever you are. I will be back tomorrow, Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.